Hi there, this is Bavo-one of Bravo Team Airsoft. I'm going to do a quick video on what guns I've got in my collection. I realise, seeing as I've now taken the previous ones down because of the old team name and the ethics of how we managed it, I've took all the videos down so that anyone that's new to it or hasn't seen the channel before won't know how many weapons I actually have. Now, I believe I have about in the mid-30s to 40s on guns. I'm forever getting more and changing things out and swapping things around. So my weapons do change. Now, they are all based in the 60s and 70s era, so the Vietnam era weapons, whether they were used, some are rare, some are not. So it's up to you on what you decide is usable at the times. Most of these have all been referenced from some unit of other Navy SEALs, SOG, whatever. That's where I've got the impressions to think, right, I'll buy one of them and add it to my collection. Now, not all of them get used, but they are a part of my collection, and I am a big fan of the 60s stuff, so that's why I have some of what I have. So I'm going to show you now manually with the phone itself on top of each gun so I can identify what I've got and why, and then I will upload it for you so you can have a rough look at what I do have. Right, so I will start with my M14. I believe this is a GNG Veteran model. I've had this now about a year or so. I've not really used it much, but I like it. It's all wooden metal, there's no plastic on it. It's a beast of a looking gun. Occasionally it has a scope on it. At the moment I've taken the scope off because it doesn't sit well on the hanger, it slides off and falls down. The next one is my SLR by Aries. This I haven't used a great vast yet, I've only used it once. I bought it from Land Warrior not long ago and they sent me something wrong with the hop unit. So I can't really be bothered sending it back, so I'm going to have a look at the hop unit and then see if I can repair it before I use it, seeing as I got something a bit dodgy out of the box there, but it's a nice looking gun, full metal and wood. Below that is a Tokyo Marui M16A1. It is a metal Tokyo Marui, not a plastic as you'd expect. It was a custom built with a JG body and GMP and a few other bits, but it all has Tokyo Marui internals. Below that is the Car-15 prototype. I believe it does have another name, like the Colt 617 or something. I'm not entirely sure on that one. I can't quite remember what it is they called it. But it's originally the Car-15 prototype with a retractable stock by GMP. Then below that I have the Classic Army HK33. Some of the Navy SEALs used a mix between the G3 and the HK33, so I thought, well, I'll buy both. So if it's one or the other, I've got both, and they are both 60s era, so they do fit. Below that is my trusted favourite, which is my XM177E2, or the Car-15, with a 40mm grenade launcher by GMP. It's probably my most used gun of my collection. Below that is a custom built, I think it's Excalibur M16A1 SD. It's got a tracer unit on the back, mocked up as a old school silencer. Not entirely era correct, but it's close, so it does for me, with a custom paint job on it. Below that is what I call my version of Lucille, which is my GMP M16A1 with a M203 grenade launcher. This was originally built from a GMP M16A3 and a GMP M16A1. I've then got the pieces together, stripped them both down and then built my own gun. It's got a bunch of internal upgrades in it. It's even got a proper era accurate field dressing on the back, and then a custom paint job. Below that is my GMP Stoner 63. I absolutely love this gun. It is an absolute monster. It's been used quite frequently since I've got it. It's one of my go-to guns out of the entire wall. Below that is the A&K M60 chopped. Now this is the Navy SEAL version that's been had the parts removed off it and chopped down. Wouldn't recommend one of these. They're a lot more faff than they're worth. There is always some sort of admin issue that needs solving with them, but at the moment it's in working condition and it should work fine next game. And after that I've got the LCT RPK machine gun. This one, I got this one for Christmas. I've only used it once so far, but it was an absolute beast. Worked really well, held up right, had a good rate of fire. It was fast, it was accurate, not bad to say about that. The next one is the S&T M3 grease gun. This works tremendously out of the box, I would definitely recommend it. The only problem I've got with this is the magazines. Having problems getting mags for that, so at the moment I'm just running one high cap, but it is an ideal spare weapon. I usually run that with something else. Above that is the 40mm grenade launcher, the M60, oh, I can't remember, I think M67 maybe? Can't quite remember the name of this one. M79. This doesn't really get used very much, it's just more of a collection piece, as I've got a couple of grenade launchers under rifles, so it's just an extra gun to carry, but it's nice to have in my collection. Above that is the LCT G3. It's an absolute monster, weighs about 20 pounds in weight, it's heavy as hell. and it's been another good gun. I haven't used it that much because the magazines tend to stick on it in cold weather, which is the times I've used it. Above that is the AKM. I think this is a G&G Top Tech, I think this is, if I remember rightly. And it has the battery at the front. It comes with two of them, and it has a bit of a blowback feature as well, which is good. Folding stock, so I quite like this. I think it's the AKMS, I think the version of this one is. Then above that is my Tokyo Marui VSR Pro Hunter. And this has been completely custom built and ripped apart. The barrel was sprayed, the scope's been sprayed and mocked up. It's had a real Remington 700 body fitted to it. It has a couple of inert rounds on the back just to sell the look a bit more. It's had a bunch of internal upgrades as well, but again I don't really use it because sniping is not really for me. Above that is the Dragunov SVD sniper rifle. Now this was very rare and uncommon in Vietnam, but it was supposedly used by Spetsnaz and a few elite snipers, depending on what stories you believe and what threads you've read. And apparently anyone that was found one of these had a massive bounty on them. Then above that I have the Mossberg 500 and a Remington 870. If I move one of them, you might be able to see the other one behind it, which is that one. I don't really use shotguns much, but they're part of my collection. I have used both at various times. They're both metal. One's spring, this one is spring, and the other one's gas. It's got a good bit of power behind them. I need to get a wooden kit for the Mossberg. I haven't quite got around to doing that yet, as it's not a priority, as I don't use it very often. Then above that is the Type 56 by Real Sword AK-47. I did actually chop the bayonet off this one because I didn't like it. I should have really kept it now for realistic looking. It weighs an absolute ton, as you'd expect, being Real Sword, and it has been a pretty good gun. Now above that's my newest one, which is my AMD 65 Bulgarian AK-47, commonly used by SEALs from weapon captures from the research we've found. I haven't used this yet other than testing it around and seeing how it fires, but it does work really good. I'm quite impressed with it so far. So after that I have these ones. I have my Winchester, which I've never really used in the field. It's a collecting piece. I'm not really in a big rush to use that, and it doesn't have any swivels on it for slings. I have the CYMA AKMS, or AKM I think. I have a CYMA Thompson, and then we have a couple of pistols. Now, pistols I don't use as frequently as rifles, but they are handy to have, and they're all 60s era of some sort, so they all fit into the timeline. I have a WeTech Browning, which is going to be a custom job I haven't quite finished sorting out yet. I have a KWC 1911, Series 70 with a suppressor on the end, or silencer if you like. T33 by WeTech. I have another KWC 1911, same sort of finish as a Series 70 but in black, more standard version. I have a Colt Python by Tanaka. This is a rare one, really unique. I have a Tokyo Marui M66, Dan Wesson Model 15, Colt 1911 by Armory Works, which is green gas. Then I have a KWC Colt Python CO2. Then a WeTech 1911 Compact. I think it may be the Commander or the Officer model. I get these two mixed up. Then I have a artillery Luger, and then my actual favourite gun that I tend to carry with me all the time, which is my KWC 1911 Series 70. This is my main go-to gun. Along with that, I do happen to run the Dan Wesson Model 15 on a cowboy holster on my webbing. Then below that, the last one, which is in this box, is a Smith & Wesson 36 by Tanaka. It has been used, but doesn't have much decency in range or anything for obvious reason, but it's a nice collection piece. It's a good go-to gun for last stands. So that's everything for my gun collection. Thanks for watching. This is Bavo-one with Bravo Team Airsoft. I'll check in with you later.